Welcome to episode 73 of the Brew Crew Scoop. The 2025 Milwaukee Brewers are the winningest team in franchise history. 97 wins, 97 and 65 through 162 is the final. Best record in baseball. They stand alone with the best record in baseball. Um, what a season. A team that started 0 and 4 with a negative 32 run differential through 4 games. They were getting booed at the home opener in that fourth game. Elvin Rodriguez started. They got blown out. And then since then, they had about a plus 200 run differential and obviously went 97 and 61 in that stretch. So, pretty incredible year for the Brewers. Quite literally the best year.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
best year and among all the teams in the league by record. Um, Love to see it. Obviously, not something we expected at the start of this year. Um, yeah, it's just been fun to watch all year, and I'm sure we'll dive into more of the details in a bit. So keep it brief.
yeah, I'll keep it brief as well. Even though, it was the winningest, it was definitely the most team effort I think we've seen from like a Brewers winning ball club in a while. Um, Defense hitting bullpen, there wasn't like, the dominant bullpen or you had Quinn Priester dominating, but other than that, starting pitching was just it was good. It wasn't the best. We're so used to having the best of something when we go out on these huge runs, Christian Yelich MVP seasons, or you know Jeremy Jeffress and Corey Knebel and Josh Hader, or just Josh Hader and Devin Williams, and we just didn't have those guys. So it was just an interesting season all around, and I'm happy that it came out to be that 97 wins. A little bit of a scare there at the end by the wild card Reds, but got it done.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would get to the 97 wins. I would have been pretty bummed if they made it all that way, not to break the record, because clearly it's been so hard to break 96. But at the same time, I kind of wanted the Reds to get in over the Mets, partly because, well, screw the Mets because they spent $1 billion on that payroll and what happened last year, but also just because I don't think the Reds are as good. So if potentially you match up against them. It's probably unlikely, but if you match up against them, it's a worse team. So um, be ready to clip that when they beat us in the NLCS. Just kidding. But yeah, it was a quick 3 games. I guess we'll do the episode a little different this time. We're just gonna talk about the 3 games briefly, but then we're gonna preview mostly the wild card round, which thankfully the Brewers are not a part of. So, um, first of all, just talking about the weekend, like we mentioned, they were sitting on 96 wins with one series to go, and they took it all the way down to the last game. The Reds won 3-1 on Friday, 7-4 on Saturday, and then on Sunday the Brewers were down 2-1 before Danny Jansen flipped the script with 2-run homer. Andrew Vaughn added some insurance in that fourth inning too. Can't really call it insurance that early, but you get the point. 4-2 Brewers. And even though the Reds lost shortly after that, the Mets also lost to the Marlins, um, to the Mets announcers' dismay. And Cincinnati celebrated in Milwaukee, and they're going to the playoffs. So I don't love like a 500 team getting in, and that's kind of what's going to happen with the wild card round being expanded. But um, overall, I'm excited for I think Reds fans and their team. They're a likable team, I feel like. So until we play them in the playoffs, then I'm not gonna feel the same way. But that was pretty much the recap. Freddie pitched on Sunday just a couple innings. Put a bow on his fantastic regular season. Arguably one of the best in franchise history. Um, so yeah, that's all I had from that series.
Yeah, I will say it was a little upsetting that Yelich didn't end up getting that 30th home run. He flew out his last at bat. I didn't get to watch that game, but they said it was about 7 feet from the wall, so he was
Yeah.
close. But it was nice to see him stay relatively healthy as well. That's pretty much the number one thing. He's gonna hit bombs. He's gonna, drive in the runs. It's just can you get the counting stats because you're on the field so often? And he did. So I'll talk more about him later, but that was a huge thing for me, and he just didn't get it done. But 100 ribbies, so we'll take that. Nice little round number.
Yeah, I agree that I wanted to also see the Reds do it, and it made it a weird situation, but ended up happening. Reds got to celebrate up here, so that's kind of cool for them, I guess, and Brent Suter. But yeah, everything happened okay, and no one can complain that we had to have this bye as a red hot team. So it's probably okay. We have a little reset, can keep those guys healthy, like we were talking about with Yelly, and I'm sure Contreras can use a day here. So um, yeah, and it was good to see turnout too for the last couple of games with how I mean, I guess we're playing for the franchise record, but not as much to play for maybe as some other recent games, but obviously fans still showing out. So um, got through the weekend all right.
Well, Saturday was the tumbler giveaway.
Mm.
So, those Saturday giveaways always bring in the fans these days. But yeah, it was packed. A couple more sellouts. I had that number somewhere. I don't have it right here, but I want to say it was like 2.6 million was the final count on the regular season for
S-
attendance.
Speaking of sellouts, Cubs Padres, how we feel about that matchup?
Yeah. We could get right into that. Kian, you alluded to something Christian Yelich related. Did you have something that you were going to bring up about Christian Yelich before we dive into non-Brewers wildcard talk?
Well, it was just based off of, our hot hitter and pitcher segment. I don't know if we want to do those first or if we want to just jump right into the Cubs pads.
Well, Kian, I think we were going to save it for the first off-season pod, but you know what? Since you're itching, I'll let you do it. You want
I
to do it?
am.
All
I
right, let's
am.
do it.
We don't
All
have
right.
to do Coles, but we'll do mine.
Are you doing of the week or the year?
The year. Just
Okay,
I've
I just got to know how to introduce you. All right, Coach Kian, who was your regular season hot hitter of the year?
Oh, stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. He's so hot right now.
obviously it was Christian Yelich.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Um, could you tell? The guy was this is, supposed to be your leader, and I think he is. But obviously there was that, hey, can this dude stay on the field as he ages into his mid 30s? And he came out.
Have you ever seen a Brewers leader with that problem? Has that been something you've
Yeah, it
witnessed in your
appears to
lifetime?
be it's like
Yeah, but
deja vu in a way.
but Braun was taking, I think it was like protein shakes. So it was like honestly some Yelich I think you should look into.
Protein shakes and cryotherapy.
Yeah. If it wasn't
Yeah.
for Sean Markham,
Yeah.
that guy was bad news. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was good. So just looking at some like counting stats here, obviously I'm a huge counting stat guy. If you've ever listened to me on this podcast, Christian Yelich eclipsed almost 575 at bats. He's itching to that, 600 at bats. The 264 average, it just seems like average, even though they banned the shift, is still somewhat down in the league. Trey Turner won the NL batting title with a 304 batting average. So 264 in today's game is probably closer to 280 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I'll take 264 all day. He had over 150 hits, which obviously if averages are down, usually hits are down. So that was good for 45th in the league, which probably led the team as well, just because of how often guys were in and out of the lineup. No, Cole, do you know who
I
has the
don't know
most?
off the top of my head, but I would have to guess that maybe Sal would have an argument,
Sal or
considering he
Bryce
hit
too?
about
Yeah,
300 or whatever. But
yeah, Bryce too. He
still,
batted about 288, but still
still.
third on the team in hitting for power. You could easily give this award to Bryce Turang as well. I'm sure we'll get into him in the offseason. But then you have the over 100 RBIs, which was 11th in the league, 29 bombs, which was 34th in the league. And then he had an 800 OPS going into the last game that he played. He ended with 795. Yeah, we'll take that. It was still great. I did see something on Twitter that the Brewers have two out of the three teams in National League history to have seven or more hitters in a 700 OPS bracket. So that's 700 OPS to 799. And they have two of the three instances. The Rockies in 2022, I think, was the other one, which is wild. But he was probably a part of that by not having an 800 OPS. And then he was so close to 100 runs, which is pretty much like 100 RBIs. It's just kind of a nice round number. 21 doubles. So he had a 20 home run, 20 double season. Couldn't get the 20 steals either at 16. The one part of his game that wasn't so great, obviously, was the strikeouts. He was 24th in the league, but that just comes with playing every day and obviously trying to hit for power. So at the end of the year, the Brewers offense pretty much cooled off, but he did finish. If he got a hit in the last game, he would have finished with a 7-game hitting streak, all one hits in those games. But I still think him coming back and playing well not only juiced the fan base, but obviously if you're the leader, you want to play well. So I give it to him, even though there are guys, Sal Frelick, Bryce Terang, that might have deserved it a little more or took a bigger jump. Um, but I still think Christian Yelich was a huge part of the success just by him being out there every day. And that's why he's my hot hitter of the year.
Well said. Do you have an untouchable pitcher of the year as well, or are you just prepared for the hitter?
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
I don't have as much in depth, but I'm gonna take a little victory lap here. Is not this year, but the year before, I did pick Abner Uribe to be an all-star, and then he ended up getting hurt and didn't have the greatest year last year. And then he came out and was on fire this year. He had an under 2 ERA in 70 plus high leverage innings. He had some saves in there. He obviously, I want to say he was leading the league in holds for a little bit, which isn't a super great stat, but it just shows that you can hold the lead and you're not obviously giving it up. So Abner, I'm taking a victory lap. He's my hot pitcher of the year. And then an honorable mention I had was Aaron Ashby, just because he finally showed that
Oh,
he can
just
actually
take them
throw the ball.
all. Just
Yeah.
take them all.
I,
That's fine.
I don't actually think I was going to take Aaron Ashby as my untouchable pitcher of the year, so it's
No,
okay. But I do
I was
like you
just giving
taking
him
no,
flowers.
he was my unsung
There
hero.
you go.
Is what I
That's
was going
fine.
to ask
That's
next.
fine.
So I'll go first. Oh, unless you want to talk pitchers, Cole.
No, I was just gonna say I like that Coach Keane's taking a victory lap on a take of Abner Uribe being an all-star when he still had that robbed from him this year too. So hopefully next year you can fully take that lap and he can get what he's deserved.
He is up for an all MLB spot, so
Well, let's not
I
do
don't think
that
he'll get that,
because in art
but
he'll make a couple extra bucks in that case, and
Yeah.
we know we don't want that.
we'll see. We'll see. The Brewers have 9 guys. I'm going to go with none of them getting an all MLB. Maybe Bryce Terang at
Maybe
second
Bryce.
base, and he'll get second team.
All right. My unsung hero, and I'm lowering the bar because he really should be in the rotation for the extension we gave him. Not that it was a lot of money, but it's decent for a young guy who was pre-arb when we gave it to him. Um, if you would have told me when we signed Ashby that I'd be really excited about him throwing 66 and 2/3 in our year, I would have been like, damn, that stinks. But all that to say, 2.16 ERA over 43 games. He did exactly what we needed him to do this year when that rotation was strong enough without him. He was everything we needed and more in a long reliever. And hopefully him and maybe even DL Hall too can continue those roles in the playoffs and be really successful. So that's my unsung hero. Grant Anderson had a good case, but he did start to struggle a little bit. Towards the end there. So I'll give it to Aaron Ashby with the 2.16 ERA. You guys got one?
I'm saving
Or
mine for a postseason, I thought, but off the top of my
that's
head,
fine.
yeah, I'll save it. I'll let Coach
That's
Keane
fine.
rip.
I didn't really have an unsung hero. I just think that everybody on the team is an unsung hero. But I will say somebody who's gone a bit under the radar, and maybe it's just because of how he plays and cooled off near the end of the year. But Caleb Durbin, um, obviously everybody's like, oh, how do you get their 20th ranked prospect and Nestor Cortez for Devin Williams? Well, he solidified the third base spot for most of the year. A couple of huge hits. I want to say he had what, 2 walk-offs. So
Yeah, at least.
yeah,
I
so he
would
had
say.
a sac fly or something, then obviously the walk-off against San Diego. So maybe not a hero, but a key cog in the Pat Murphy Brewers and
I
how
think
he was able to
He
operate
definitely got
the
to play
lineup.
hero. He
I
definitely
was
got to
gonna
play hero in
say,
a lot of games. So I like that shout.
and he was better than I want to say better than we really even our highest expect. I mean, obviously you can have super high expectations, but honestly, he's probably better than we really thought. He played a decent third base every day. He was clutch. He was I don't know his OPS off the top of my head. I'd imagine it was like 750-ish. Like he was really good. So it wasn't wasn't an all-star third baseman, but for a rookie, that 1 year of a closer you gave away, a closer that you were kind of ready to part ways with anyways, I'll take it. Um, did want to mention real quick, Grant Anderson did finish the year with a 3.23 ERA, so still awesome for a middle reliever. But yeah,
Caleb Durbin, OPS 721, and he
okay.
finished the year on a 0 for 14 skid.
So yeah, a little lower than I thought, but still, my point still stands. Played 136 games. Um, just did what he needed to do. So a 101
25
OPS
doubles. 25 doubles
Yeah,
from
and
the
he was
kid.
clutch. So, um,
I'm impressed.
yeah, he was good. All right. Well, let's talk playoffs. Cubs and Padres. I don't know if you guys want to do any sort of like a pre-spiel before we take our picks. All I really wanted to mention is that it sounds like the Cubs are going to be without Cade Horton and obviously Justin Steele as well. Um, Possibly Kyle Tucker. Does anyone know did Kyle Tucker play in this last series or not? I saw he was taking some BP, but I didn't think I saw he returned. So
I don't
possibly
know if he
without Kyle
played.
Tucker,
I
unless I'm
think he's
uninformed.
supposed to be in the lineup. At least that's like the
Okay.
rhetoric around the series. But yeah, he's
But
definitely not on an MVP form right now. That's for
But you're
sure.
you're looking at Matthew Boyd versus Nick Pivetta in the first game. Boyd was pretty great all
Kyle
year
Tucker did
long.
play on Sunday.
Okay. So that would be big for them if he's actually full go. But
0 for 3, one strikeout. I think he's ready.
Dylan Dylan Cease versus Craig Counsell's favorite pitcher, undecided on Wednesday. And then
Alan
I mean, that's
Ray.
got to be Shota, right?
I don't know how it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't either.
If they like that would be insane. Craig's probably too worried to throw lefties on back-to-back
Oh, it's
days.
because Colin Ray is healthy, right?
Of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah, you can't.
Code Red.
Hey, he's actually had a good year. So
No, he has.
jokes
He has.
aside,
So, anyways, that's the preview there. Cubs have home field. They are favored,
are they
which
really?
it looks like the money line is it's a pick 'em right now. It's a -110, but earlier I think I saw -125 on the Cubs. So, um, yeah, let's hear it. What do you guys have to say, or go ahead and make your pick?
I would say I think we just kind of talked about it between the pitchers' injuries, the Tucker coming off injury, and their first half MVP not being that in the second half. The Cubs definitely don't have, I think, the momentum people thought they might have going into the playoffs. Had you looked at this a while ago, but they still have. I mean, they still have a lot of talent and enough arms, I think, to get through this series at least. Uh, Even though their pen's not been great, there's still guys there, and it's once you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. But I think this Padres team is pretty solid too. I mean, we've seen that firsthand in the last couple of years. They've definitely given a run, and they're got a lot of arms as well to leverage, and their pen's really strong. The home field, I think, will make it interesting, so I can see why it's a pick 'em. I won't jump to my prediction yet if Coach Keane just wants to lay anything out before we jump into those, though.
No, I mean, the only thing I would think is that the Padres have been pretty hot. I mean, it's always about who gets hot, and the Padres have been pretty damn hot for the last week, so we'll see. The Cubs are the Cubs, though. They're decent. I'm not going to shit on them at all and be like, oh, the Padres are going to roll over them. Craig's a good manager, and he wins almost every year because of that, at least in the regular season. So it'll be interesting to see old NL Central rivals Mike Schilt and Craig Counsell duel it out. Two guys who have been there, and very excited to watch this series. And to be honest, I would hate to see both teams. So, Scoop, if you don't have anything else, I'll make my pick then.
Sure. I was just gonna correct myself that I was looking at game one. So for the series, it's -125 Cubs still, +105 Padres. Um, yeah, go ahead, Keith. Who you got?
I've got the San Diego Padres going into the Chicagoland and kicking the shit in 2 games out of the Cubs. Um,
Wow. I don't
I
know about
think
all that.
I'm wrong. I think the 2 years that or this will be year 3 that we've done this. I've I've gone 0 for 8 in the wild card. So um,
Well,
just
pick the
go,
Cubs, jackass.
yeah, just go against me. I'm pretty sure I'm over 8. It's pretty bad, but I do think the Padres go in there, and I think they just Tatis is it's his time to shine. I just go back to like the 2020 bubble playoffs and how great he was and how fun they were to watch. So, and Manny Machado is Manny Machado. I mean, I just think they have the star power unless Kyle Tucker comes out and PCA learns how to fucking hit again. Um, if those two guys can step up, then I'm wrong. But I think Manny Machado and Tatis carry.
Are you willing to wager any hair on this head
No,
or elsewhere?
once we unarchive that video from Instagram, maybe we can go back. We can post it and just redub over my mouth.
Yeah. All right, Cole. Cubs and Padres. What do
Yeah,
you got?
I guess like Coach Gian said, I wouldn't want to see either of them. I think they're both solid, and I don't know as a Brewers fan who I'd rather play. I'm not I'm not going to be a coward and say I don't want to play the Cubs just because I don't want to lose to the Cubs, but I also really would not want to lose a series to the Cubs. So I think either way, you're facing some talented teams and both have their downside. I don't even know which I'd rather face, but not to give Craig bulletin board material, but I just think the lineups, at least in their current state, aren't far off. The rotation, at least in a 3 game set, again, is at least somewhat close. Obviously, Pivetta has been good, but um, I still think those Cubs arms are decent or above average. Shota in a 1 game set, you got to feel pretty good as a Cubs fan, even if he's not been uh, the first Shota we saw when he debuted last year. That was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he already seems like he's been a mainstay. But I think the pen and just how the Cubs have kind of rolled into the series. But I'd say it goes 3 games, um, and the Padres come out on top. But I will not be surprised if it goes either way.
I gotta, yeah, I gotta say to your guys' points, I can't decide if I would less rather face Craig Counsell or Manny Machado because we're gonna boo Machado and he's gonna freaking take that to heart. So that almost might be worse. So I don't know. I don't know, like to your point, I don't know who I'd rather play. I will say I know that I'm gonna be openly rooting for the Padres in that first round just because because I'm so salty about Craig Counsell, honestly, that I don't want to see him succeed. But at the same time, I'm not super excited about Manny Machado in that bullpen coming to Milwaukee. Um, I have faith in our team for sure, but if you're going to ask me who I'd rather want to play, my answer would probably be the Reds. So I'm going to go with Cubs in 3. Um, again, could see it going either way, but I think Wrigley is going to be rocking, honestly. I think the home field could be big for them. And I think, like you said, I like Shota, I like Matt Boyd. Um, yeah, it'll be tough. If you get into the Padres pen, you might be in trouble. But if you can score before then, maybe the wind's blown out at Wrigley in the first inning. I think my that'll be my official pick, Cubs in 3. So
It's going to be really fun to watch Wrigley playoff games, though. I have to admit it's good atmosphere there, and obviously normally corresponds with some day games, which is a lot of fun. Also, this could be really dumb, but their game tomorrow is on ABC. I feel like I don't. Did they do that last year on ABC?
I think some of the wild card games are on ESPN, and that might just be why, with it being an affiliate. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the other 3 tomorrow are on ESPN. It's probably
yeah. I
just because
just
of the overlap. It looks
don't
like
remember games on there. It's just cool because technically that's like a national
yeah.
broadcast and so on. But does that mean Boog is in the booth?
God, I hated
Oh,
him on the
boo.
Brewers series last year with the Mets. That was fucking
Yeah,
awful.
yeah, that was brutal.
We don't have to deal with ESPN this year. That's my favorite part of the bye.
All right, the Gavin Lux Bowl, Reds Dodgers.
Dodgers in 2.
I Do you want to say more, or is that I'm guessing
No,
that's all you wanted to say? I
no.
I mean, the Reds do have strong rotation, and they have a lot of pieces. It's just a matter of if those guys are going to get hot. But like their bench is at least deep because they're like a pretty monotone team. They have a good manager. As much as they're yes barely slid in and didn't have a very impressive record. There was a reason I guess I was high on them going into the year, and they at least battled their way into it and took that spot away from the Mets. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 3 games. Um, but they're probably going to be close, and Tito's going to have to work some magic. But I don't know. I almost want to just not take the Dodgers because I'm sick of the Dodgers already, and I feel like I'm going to be sick of the Dodgers for the next couple plus years. Do you know what the rotation is for the Reds in the playoffs? Obviously,
Hunter Green versus Snell tomorrow, and then let's see. Uh, doesn't look like they have anything yet
announced.
announced for. I can see if I can find the probables on the MLB site, but I would think Lodolo is down until maybe Thursday. Did he pitch Saturday?
Yeah, that's what I
Or
was trying to figure out. And then obviously, like Singer's just been mid, but Abbott's been good. And that Dodgers bullpen's been oddly atrocious for a while. But
so
I mean,
Green Snell today or tomorrow. Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus TBA on Wednesday, and I'm gonna assume Thursday is TBA. Yeah.
um, I'll take the. I got you. Got to take the Dodgers, I guess. But fine, I'll take the Reds. Someone's got to do it. Fine, I'll take the Reds. Fuck it, Coach Keane.
I was gonna say, well, we're spending way too much time on this. It's gonna be Dodgers in two. Everybody knows it. Just go with it and let's move on. There's better games and better series to talk about
Yeah.
than Reds
Dodgers in
Dodgers.
three. Dodgers in three. I think the Reds sneak one. I think they're riding the vibes right now. And um Blake
If
Snell's
they
been known to get himself into a jam or two. You never know. One big hit. So
if they do win one, I think it'll be game one though,
yeah,
and
I
then it'll
agree.
be
I agree.
two straight.
All right, Dodgers in three. So all right, on to the American League, Guardians and Tigers. Probables game one, Tarek Skubal versus Gavin Williams. Game two, Tanner Bybee versus TBD. And then game three, Slade Chaconi versus TBD. So
Guardians in two.
Yeah, on paper, you probably want to say Tigers if you look at the whole year, but I don't know how the Tigers bounce back from what happened, and also I just don't want to go against the Guards vibe, so I'll take Guards in two as well.
Guardians in three. I mean Tarek Skubal game one. Come on. I got the Tigers in the first game, but
He just beat
um
him or they just beat him like
I
his last
know.
start.
Notably, though, I have said now twice in a row, oh, they're going to win game one and lose two and three. The game one winner has won the series every time in the wild card round. So, I mean, obviously it's only 2 years, but they're 8-0. So,
And how many
um,
have gone to three games? Like
one,
two?
the
And
Brewers
it was
last year, the
us.
Mets. That was it. So, all right. And then last series, Red Sox, Yankees, Garrett Crochet versus Max Fried. Good matchup there. Game two, Brian Bayo versus Carlos Rodon. And then game three, Cam Schlitter versus TBD.
Lit. I guess I'll go first. I do think this one goes to three. This is the only one that I think will go three, and I think Boston prevails. I think at least it feels like to me the last couple of years, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I am. But Boston kind of has the Yankees number a little bit, so I'm just going strictly off of that. I haven't watched any of their games the last month or so, but I do know Crochet is disgusting. Um, the Yankees are good, but their fans hate their manager. And I think they're kind of like us. Once one thing goes wrong, it's hard to come back from it because you have so much doubt. So I'm gonna go Red Sox in three. It's gonna go Sox, Yankees, Sox.
Roman Anthony not back, or it looks like he was like around the team recently, but he's not,
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't yet have a timetable for his return. And while I definitely will be rooting for the Red Sox, and that's what I want to see, I'm gonna go Yankees. I think no Roman is the difference. Devin Williams, proven playoff performer, gonna get it done for the Yanks.
I was about to say Yankees in three, and then you just reminded me who their, I mean, closer kind of is. So I don't know. I am going to still say Yankees in three. It does feel that way, Kian, that the Red Sox since 2003 or 2004 on, if you want to put it that way, have kind of owned the Yankees. But I think the Yankees finally get it done. Freed, obviously, great pitcher. Rodon looks to be back to his normal self. Really, really good this year. Um, Home field, Stanton. Typically, I feel like is a playoff riser or big moment riser. Obviously, Judge and him can just tickle baseballs over that right field fence all day, as well as all their lefties that can as well. So I think I like the Yankees. I'm pretty bold of me, I would say, to pick all four series to go to three games. So that's wishful thinking when that's probably not going to happen, but would be for a fun Thursday. So, all right, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm excited. It'll be good games.
Yes, it will.
You guys got any other bold takes or final thoughts before we head out?
I'm just curious to see the pitching side of our playoff roster. There's a lot of guys I think that at least have a case to make it in, and I think whether it's Grant Anderson, more likely like Tobias Myers, Gasser might not be on that roster for the playoff series. So just going to be interesting to see who makes it, and it's also crazy to think the guys were able to leave off because they're pretty solid arms. And then I think the last batter spot that's up for grabs, I think Kurt Hogue had his roster prediction, and it seemed pretty spot on. He went Lockridge over Reese, and the way they've been using Reese, I don't know how you put him on the team over a Lockridge who at least would play in pinch running situations. So, um, yeah, we're just really curious to see how that shakes out because we have a lot of good candidates, which is awesome, but means decisions will have to get made, especially for the arms side of it all.
Yeah, I think it's weird to me that they didn't even let Reese get
Yeah, like why not?
any run since he came back. I mean, maybe we should have known that because they left him in Nashville for 30 days. But I just thought that was weird. I mean, he's proven that he can be a guy. He was good at the beginning of the year, and you're just not even going to give him a consistent shot to come back from injury. I just maybe there's something we don't know. He's not fully healthy, or he didn't want to play because he didn't want to get hurt. I don't. That's stupid, but I just thought that was crazy that they didn't even give the guy a shot, and he's your second highest paid position player. I thought that was weird. But if it means that Andrew Vaughn stays batting 300 with an 800 OPS going into the playoffs, then I'm okay with it. Because I don't know if Reese would do that.
Yeah, I honestly just think it was just a really, really weird situation. Like, I think everyone, I don't know that it's anything hidden. I think it's just your expensive off-season sign or two off seasons ago signing, like you say, your second highest paid player. It's one of those scenarios where two guys, one lefty, one righty, have been playing really well, and the team's been playing really well. So why bother? I can still see him being on the roster, just because of his playoff experience and big moments with the Phillies. But yeah, Lockridge, obviously, if that's the pick, like you're probably gonna get the guy that you basically picked up to be a pinch runner. So probably makes the most sense. All right. Well, we'll be back later this week to talk about the Brewers NLDS matchup versus either the Padres or Cubs. So we'll preview the whole LDS series, but specifically the Brewers, obviously. So um, go Brewers, huh?
Coach Keen, you got a beer of the week? You haven't been on in a bit, and I know you've been drinking beer.
Um, I have been drinking a lot of beer, but I have not been drinking anything new, just the usual. So, um, actually, the beer of the week this week is going to be sobriety. I think it's something we
Mm.
should all take part in because when the Brewers lose in 3 games to the Cubs 2 weeks from now, my liver is no longer going to exist. So Be sober
October
now.
is the worst time of the year for sobriety, Keenan. All right, it's the playoffs. We can be sober in January.
Yeah, and the Packers tied last night. So just the fact the Brewers limped into the playoffs and the Packers tied, it's not good. So we got to stay sober now. A lot of drinking later.
I got better vibes than that. Best team in franchise history. I'm all for this rest, so we'll be fine. We'll be recharged on Saturday.
Yeah,
Hey,
that
you
was
saw my tweets.
depressing.
I'm in the same boat. I think the sky could be falling a lot worse. It's
You know
just
what's
like,
huge? I think you know what's actually kind of huge is the fact that we won that playoff game last year. Because I'm not kidding. Because I think there was a time where literally we were going to these playoff games and giving up one run and it would go dead. So the fact that we actually won a game, it might sound really stupid, but I think that'll kind of help like ease a tiny bit of the tension. There's probably if we go down, there's probably going to be like, oh fuck, here we go again. But I think it'll be a tiny bit better knowing that we had a win last year. So
and the fact that Devin Williams isn't on our team, who never performed in the playoffs when we put him in. So
he
I
had a
mean,
0 ERA in 2021, I think.
I think he only
Playoffs.
had use of one of his hands. That might have
Yeah.
been had something to do with it, but fucking
All right.
dumbass.
Go Brewers.
Go Brewers.
We'll talk before the Brewers play again, but go Brewers.
Well, still. Okay.
I just wanted to see how Coach Keenan